Hello, everybody. I am excited to be here. I was just doing some paper beading tonight and decided to go ahead and hop on to do it live. And I actually accidentally went live on my personal channel. And now to remember to hop over. Whoops. To do it live. And you can hear that's me looking at my own share. So I can get my share link and save it over into the paper bead Fanatics group on Facebook. So I'm letting them know I had some technical difficulties because I posted the wrong link. Here's the live link. Sorry, guys, if you were watching over on my personal channel. I actually went live on my personal channel. Can you believe that? Fun stuff, fun stuff. Okay. Now I think we have it. Now I think we're good. How are you guys doing tonight, huh? Did you have a good New Year's is the big question. I had a really good New Year's. We stayed home. We did not do a whole lot. So that was nice. I enjoyed that. All right, we are on now. I think we got this. Who's on with me? Say hi in the chat. I want to see you guys. Hello. Now we are live. Now we are all set. Oh, wow. It's fun when you decide to do stuff at the last minute. So I am just sitting here rolling some beads for my next tutorial. And I thought, you know what? It might ruin the surprise a little, but that's okay. I wanted to come on, and it's been a while since I've done a live and gotten to just chat with you guys. Hey, Nan, Happy New Year. So good to see you. It's been so long since I've gotten to chat with you guys. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to get on and have some company while I roll these beads. Oh, no. Don't tell me this got dried up while I was... there we go. While I was busy messing with the tech. Hey, say hi in the chat. I see we've got quite a few people on already. I'd love to see who's here. Give me a shout out in the chat there. Hit like on the live stream if you can. If you're on your phone, you have to exit the chat, hit like, and then come back. The more you hit like, the more YouTube will share this out, I've learned. So if you'll hit like for me, that would be awesome. Nan, what'd you do for New Year's? Mine was not exciting at all. We made some, hey, Joy, how are you? Made some good food and stayed home and watched TV and watched some movies. And that's it. I let my son stay up as late as he wanted since it was a new year. So I think I went to bed. I think he stayed up till 2:30. But I'm old. I can't do that anymore. Nan, yes. So Nan asked about the packages of the new products. Yes. So I ordered new products for the launch. We just released them in the store yesterday. Well, technically on New Year's Eve. New findings. If you're interested, you can go to paperbeadrollers.com and check them out. And I was waiting. They were supposed to get here in time for me to launch on New Year's Day. And all of a sudden on December 6th, they were marked as delivered, but I had no packages. And so at first I thought, okay, well, there's a lot of issues with the shipping and they'll show up eventually. And so I waited and waited and waited, and I waited 2 weeks and they still didn't show up. And then I just like, okay, they had to have been stolen at this point. You know, it's been 2 weeks. They were marked delivered. They haven't shown up. They've got to have been stolen. So I got pretty upset. I got to be honest. And I posted in Paper Bead Fanatics and just to get it out, you know, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to have half the stuff I was going to have for you guys. And then on like, what date was it? Like, I don't know, the 18th or 19th, it was like 2 weeks later. No, more than 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks when I kind of got upset. And then it was weeks after that, at least a week after that. I get this package in the mail out of nowhere, and it was a big package, and I open it up, and it was from the Postal Service. I open it up, and all 3 of my packages are inside this one package. So apparently what happened is they somehow got all those 3 packages in the same postal sorting facility, realized they were all going to the same place, marked them delivered in Kentucky, by the way. This was in Kentucky, and packaged them up in an extra envelope, printed a new shipping label, and put them back in the mail. And it took an extra, 3 weeks after that to get them to me. I have no idea why they would do that. I don't know if we have anybody working on here who's from the Postal Service. But hey, you know what? I'm just relieved that I got them because I really thought they were stolen. And I live in a neighborhood that you don't usually get stuff stolen. Luckily, in North Carolina, if you have new housing developments, they won't do mailboxes anymore. They'll make you do these kiosk things. And the folks on the other side of my neighborhood have a kiosk, and they're constantly missing packages. But I have a mailbox, and I don't. We don't really have those problems, but I thought, okay, here we go. Now we're going to have these problems. It's the start of something. But let's put my orange ones in there. But it didn't. I got it. I was very happy. They're here. So yay, I did. And I got more stuff today, by the way, you guys. I'm trying to decide if I should go ahead and put the new stuff that I got today out or hold on to it for February. What do you think? You tell me what to do. Should I put the new stuff I got today out in the shop, or should I hold on to it? It's just one thing, actually. I got 2 packages, but one was clothes that I ordered. The other one was product. So Dan says, same for you. You just stayed home. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that there was much to do anyway. We normally on New Year's will go to the downtown celebration in Raleigh. They have a wonderful first night celebration. And we'll usually go down there. They part of it's free, and then if you want to do some of the activities, you pay for the activities. And there's lots of food vendors. And in North Carolina, it's not that cold. Even on the coldest New Year's, it's usually not that cold. So you just bundle up and head down there, and oh boy, it's so much fun. But of course, they didn't have it this year, so we just watched the ball drop in New York. So if you got to do anything more lively, let me know. I'll just live vicariously through you. How about that? We don't do a whole lot anymore, but that's how the things go. Hopefully it will be easier soon. I would love once we're allowed to be around people again, I would totally love to have a paper bead conference. I talked with Gina from Belly Beads and Zoe from, oh gosh, I just lost the name of Zoe's squirrel. You know Zoe from Paper Bead Fanatics, you guys. We talked about once she's in England, but we were talking about having some sort of a conference, in-person conference someday. I would totally love to do that. Hey, Janelle, how are you? Oh, good. You just ordered some bead rollers. That's awesome. We'll be sending those out to you soon. Hey, fun grandma cats. Welcome. You're new here. Oh, paper beads are so much fun. So these strips that I'm using right now are the 8mm round, and I have a PDF SVG file download that you can get on paperbeadrollers.com for these. So that's what they are. There's also a video on these. I usually put the measurements for most of my beads in the videos, and I can't remember. There's just a few I wasn't able to do because they were just a little too complicated. But if you look back in my channel, you should see the video on these round beads. These are the 65-pound cardstock round shapes. So there's 2 strips that go with it. There's this larger strip right here, and then the smaller strip, and they go like this. The only reason I couldn't do it as a longer strip is because it's longer than most papers that people work with, cardstocks and stuff. And so I do it in 2 strips so that you can use 6-inch even. I think this might be a little too long for that, but at least 8.5 by 11 for this. So yeah, so take a look at the round tutorial and that'll tell you exactly what these strips are. And then I did a little decorating on them myself, which is going to be up. I'm hoping I have this tutorial up tomorrow. If not, it'll be up this week, where I showed you the technique I used to paint this paper. And then I'm excited. I have a specific jewelry piece I'm going to make out of this, which will then be the tutorial after that. And that's usually what I do is I'll make the beads for one tutorial and then I'll use the beads I made to make the next tutorial. You are welcome. Yeah, most of the, I have the downloads of digital files available, but honestly, most of the measurements are in the videos that I do. So the digital files are just in case you want the PDF so that you can print it on your printer and cut it, or you want the SVG files, like if you have a Cricut or a Scan and Cut or a Silhouette, you have those as well. So it's more for convenience. The digital files are for convenience and ease. But I don't like to show you something and then say, oh, you have to buy this file in order to do it. Like I like to give you the actual details if I can. There's some of these digital files that are just they're way too complicated. And I've tried to give measurements out on complicated files and people get so confused. So I've just sort of stopped doing that. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? Oh, Phyllis says she uses an ink pad, embossing powder, and a heat gun to harden your beads, and it takes a long time. Yes, I've done that method before, and that method is kind of fun at first, but it gets old really fast. And the other thing I've found with that method is that I've had the beads that I've done that way have tended to crack after a certain amount of time. I don't know if it's just the embossing powder doesn't hold up well to the wear or what it is. Not all of them have cracked, but I've never had other kinds of beads cracked. So let me show you. I'll show you what I use. If I get through these, we'll do some glazing tonight too, but I don't know if I'll get through all these fast enough. I use this stuff. This is my favorite. This is Judikins Diamond Glaze. I have this on the website at paperbeadrollers.com, and I have some in stock. It's hard to keep in stock. People buy this up like crazy. You can also get it on Amazon, but if you're going to order from me, you might as well throw some in the cart. But this is what I use. It hardens and glazes really nice. Now, another thing you can use, and I don't have this in stock, but you can get it elsewhere, is this guy right here. This is triple thick. The difference between these two, I'll tell you. Diamond Glaze is thinner than triple thick. So you might have to do more coats, but it's going to lay a little smoother. If you are not good at brushing, you might have some trouble with the triple thick creating divots so that your beads aren't as smooth as they could be. Now, if you're good at brushing, you're not going to have that problem. I've learned that if I use the triple thick, I have to try to do thin coats in order to keep things smooth. So I prefer the Diamond Glaze when I have it in stock. Good question, though. Oh, Nan. So Nan says she just ordered the new Mod Podge Ultra, and it's a non-aerosol spray. No, but I would like to try that. I have found, I've used several different sprays before. I've tried kind of a polyacrylic spray. That has so much blue in it. I thought it was on blue paper, but it's on white paper. I've tried a lot of different sprays, and what I have found so far with the sprays that I've tried is that the coat is very thin and I run out really fast. It just doesn't last as long as the dipping or the brushing method. So it gets expensive really quick. But I would be curious to see, because Mod Podge is for crafting and all the other sprays that I've used are more general purpose, from the hardware store type sprays. So I would be really curious to see how the Mod Podge does. Nan, you should do a video for me. I want to see how it is. At least tell me how it is and if I should do a video on it. How about that? If you think it is something worth considering doing. I want to know. I've never been a fan of the Mod Podge for the paper beads. I mean, there's a lot of different types of Mod Podge out there. And I've tried a few of them, and I've never even done a video on one because I haven't found one that I feel like is good enough that I would recommend it for people. But I know other people who use Mod Podge. and they found some that work well. Or sometimes when you use regular Mod Podge, if you're in a humidity type of environment, it makes your beads sticky. So it depends on the type of Mod Podge you're using, I think. Hey, Aisha, how are you? Okay, Nana, I'm counting on you. Gotta let me know how that goes. Now this one, look, it's mostly just white and blue. I need to find, let's see. I think I'll do a white one on that one too. There we go. Hey, Aisha, I'm just making some round beads. So this is actually a tutorial I'm filming. I'm showing you how I made the pattern on these, which you probably figured out if you've crafted for a while, because it's pretty standard techniques. But this is going to be the beads I'm using for my next video. And then I have a jewelry piece that I have been dying to make. I have wanted to make this jewelry piece for probably 6 months, but I couldn't find the findings I needed to make it that were good enough, let's put it that way, made out of a nice enough material that would last for a while. And I finally have them. They went open in the shop. They're the 8mm round stamping charms. I'm going to use those along with these beads, and I'm going to make a really cool necklace, something that I have been it's been floating in my head for months that I wanted to make this for you guys. So that'll be the next tutorial. So I figured as long as I was sitting here rolling beads, why not hop online and chat with you guys while I rolled, right? It's more fun to either usually watch TV or listen to music while I'm rolling, but I'd much rather talk with you guys. Thanks, Candy. How you doing? Are you having fun, Candy? Oh, thanks, Aisha. These are my favorite colors. Somebody asked me not so long ago what was my favorite color combination, and this is it right here. I wear a lot of these colors, and there is a tutorial I did with a tassel necklace a year ago, 2 years ago maybe, that are these exact colors, and I haven't done another one since then. So I decided it's time to use my favorite color combination again. Candy, I bet you are. Your pictures are beautiful, my friend. I'm loving everything that you're showing about your trip. Just gorgeous stuff. Oh, the bead cores. Yeah, I usually do my bead cores afterward. So I'll make sure that I have the right size bead cores for the tool that I'm using. Then I'll make the bead, I'll glaze the bead, and then I'll put the bead cores in. So I usually do mine afterwards. I tried them before glazing, and I've just found that I feel like it looks more finished if you do it after glazing. But that's just personal preference. That's one good thing about these beads, you guys. When you're doing paper beads, like you can do whatever you want. And paper beads are like your own creation. You can do it however you want. There's no real rules. I mean, there's general guidelines, but it's part of what I like about it. Where can you get those same colors from? So the papers I just bought from my local Michael's, they're the Recollections packs, and you can get them there. And then the paint is just literally craft paint. And I just happen to have, because they're my favorite colors, I just happen to have the craft paint that matched the papers. So you can see I used this blue paper, this orange paper, and just a plain old white. And it's 65-pound cardstock, Recollections, brand from Michael's. And then I just used the 3 different colors on it. And I'll have a whole tutorial about exactly what I did to get this. So I don't want to ruin it. I'm hoping it'll be out tomorrow. If I can buckle down and get it all edited, it'll be out tomorrow. I've already filmed most of it. Phyllis says, do they make bead cores that small? What about eyelets? So I have not been able to find the bead cores or eyelets or anything that could be used as a bead core as small as the green roller. The smallest I've been able to find is the blue roller, which is this, which here, let me get, so it's just a little bit larger than the green. This is the smallest eyelet I found, and it's the smallest one I carry on the website too. But I also have, let me actually put these in. Well, I also have eyelets, the 3/16 eyelets go with the purple. And then the 4mm go with the orange, which I don't have an orange right in front of me. But I have 3 sizes of the bead core eyelets on the website, paperbeadrollers.com. But I've not been able to find them as tiny as this. So I don't know if they don't make them. I don't know. Maybe I need to get them made myself or something one of these days. Because it would be nice to have the really tiny ones. Finish these off so they'd look really cute. Oh, fun grandma cat. So you put the core in to make sure it fits, and then you pull it out and finish off the bead. I get ya. I see what you're doing there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I could see doing that. Candy said she's missing her paper bead rollers in her downtime. I hear you, girl. I love that this is a craft I can take with me, though. But I mean, it depends on where you're going. If you're doing a real big trip like yours, it might not be a good thing to carry with you. Let's see. What do you guys have planned for January? You got any exciting things coming up? I am working a contract right now. So if you've been around for a while, you know. So the paper bead rollers is kind of my main business. We make these here at my house in North Carolina and sell them on the website and on Amazon, and then I carry the findings and some other fun stuff on the website. So that's my main source of income, my main business. But I also do contracting, like consulting work. And I have a big contract I've been doing for a few months now. I think it's going to go through February probably. I teach at a local community college, and so they needed some help with their marketing. And so I've been helping them out with that as a contract. So I'm doing that probably through February. And then I'll be back to just focusing on beads. So let's see. Bye, fun grandma cat. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Oh, Nan, that's a great idea. If somebody has a little 3D printer. Well, Nan, you just gave me an excuse to go spend the money on a 3D printer. How about that? That sounds like a great business expense. And a lot of fun. Brenda Klein has a 3D printer. She is a paper bead fanatic. She's in the group, and she printed me a glue holder, which, you know what? There it is. Look at this cool glue holder Brenda did. It's meant to hold it like this. Look at that. I should be using it right now. It's meant to hold this so that the glue doesn't roll down the tube when you're working. Is this not the cutest thing ever? I love it. She should totally sell these. Brenda is a genius when it comes to coming up with stuff like this. She has a whole like crafting group in California. She is going to be moving to Raleigh, I believe, if that is still on. I haven't talked to her for a little while, but so I am very excited to have more paper bead people here in Raleigh. I've got Donna, who's a fanatic, is in Raleigh. I met her once. I met Brenda once when she was visiting here. I'd love to have more get-togethers once we're able to. It would be so much fun to see you guys in person. Oh, I'm crooked. Here we go. Yeah, Brenda Klein made that holder for me. She's the best. The best. So what are you guys doing in January? What you got going on? Anything fun? Nan, can you share Brenda's information with us? I don't want to share it here on the live just because it's public and I haven't asked her permission, but I will send her a note. She is in Paper Bead Fanatics, so you could probably ping her from the group, from inside the group. But I can ping her and just ask her if she's, if she minds me sharing her information one-on-one with people. So I'm not sure how she'll feel about that, but I think she'll be fine, but I don't want to do it without asking her first. But she's in the group. So you can find her on the member list. Phyllis asked, do you always use bead cores to finish your beads? I don't always use them. It depends on what I'm going to string next to the paper beads, because I feel like sometimes if you're using spacers with the beads, it really acts as a bead core. So you don't need the bead cores. It's like overkill to have the bead cores. But if I'm not using spacers, bead cores are there and do a better job. Hey, Robin, how are you doing? Oh, hey, no problem. Yeah, just let me know what you want to do. I can send you a return label if you'd like. It's no big deal. Robin ordered some stuff and we had a mix up in the address and it was a Christmas present. So we just sent a second one for her because we wanted to make sure the person got it. And so thank you, Robin. That is awesome. I'm glad they both ended up in the right place. I'm not sure how they did, but that was crazy. That was a crazy day. But Robin, you are awesome. Thank you for being patient with us on that. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Phyllis. Yeah, Robin and I had a moment together, of a 2020 moment. Let's call it, Robin. Let's call it a 2020 moment. It was the best. And Kate was involved as well. Kate is my assistant, you guys. She's been on a couple lives with me. She's still here with me. I love Kate. I rely on Kate so much. If you get packages from me, a lot of times Kate will be the one who packs them and then she signs them and says hi. She does most of the packing these days. And yeah, we were like, what did we do? It was funny. You got to have a sense of humor with stuff. You know what I mean? Otherwise you cry. Oh, craziness. Yeah. Who thinks 2021 is going to be calmer than 2020? Does anybody buy that? Because I kind of don't think, I don't know. I hate to say it out loud. I kind of just am thinking that it's not going to be. I hope it will be by the end of the year. But I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical. Oh, I almost put two blues together, you guys. And my glue let go. Phyllis finds it difficult to harden corrugated paper. Yeah, I haven't used a ton of the corrugated paper yet. It's not something I've played with a ton, but I can totally see why, because a lot of the structure of the paper is hidden sort of from the glaze, right? Because it's inside. So Nan wants to know, did I ever come up with the online marketing class for Etsy? I haven't yet. Although Zoe offered to help me with that, but I have been so busy with physical therapy. So I had surgery in August, you guys. And just now, really being able to take a walk again. My son and I took a walk today, and just now I'm able to start getting back to some sense of normalcy with my back. But I have not. I also was going to do a class on, you guys, for how to sell your handmade products on eBay, which is easier for me. I actually have content on that already done for another class I teach. So that is probably a faster thing. Etsy, I'm on Etsy, but I got to be honest, of all the places I sell my products, I sell the least on Etsy. Part of it, Zoe tells me my SEO is not as good as it could be. And I know that. I used to teach SEO too. I need to spend some time really working on those keywords. It's funny because, you think, okay, I'm doing this handmade stuff and I want to sell it online, but all of a sudden you have to be an expert in like 50 other things. You got to be a marketing expert, a graphics expert, a copywriter, an SEO person. SEO is search engine optimization. And that's where you use like you have to make sure you use the right words in your products in order so people can find them, right? If you don't use the right words and people are searching, they're never going to find your product. So there's just so much to do. So much to think about, but it's fun. Starting my own business is just the best thing I ever did. So if you guys are thinking about doing it, I highly recommend that you do. It's the best thing I ever did. I get so much joy out of doing this business and hanging out with you guys and getting to know all of you. I just can't even tell you. Oh, Robin, one of your sisters is going to do it too. That is awesome. Me and my mom, so my mom lives in Ohio and I live in North Carolina, but my mom and I craft together a lot. We usually, once one of us starts picking up something, even though we live so far away from each other, one of us picks it up, the other one usually picks it up too, just because we sit and craft on the phone or we sit and talk on the phone and do stuff. It's fun. I would love to live closer to my mom. That's why we need to have like a conference once we're allowed to see each other in person again. We can all sit and roll together, and make jewelry together. I don't even have, so I was having live classes at Craft Habit, which is a locally owned craft store here in Raleigh. And if you're looking for a place to purchase some stuff, by the way, Craft Habit Raleigh, I believe is their website. If you just Google Craft Habit Raleigh, it should come up. If you're looking for a local craft store to support, that would be a great one to support. They are amazing. And I really miss being there and I miss giving classes there. Yep, Candy's in for the retreat. Sweet. We'll have to do it. Maybe we can do it at the beach here in North Carolina. Find somebody with a good beach house. Have a small group of like 10 or 15 people. Spend the weekend. Long weekend beading. How's that sound? I like that idea. I'm always up for the beach. Even if it's winter, I'm up for the beach. I gotta be honest. Because in North Carolina, a lot of times it's warm enough you can at least, you can't get in the water, but you can go out and walk on the beach and pick up shells and stuff, even in December. Robin, do you? That's awesome. I love when it's a family affair, crafting. Yeah, we've always done stuff. Mom and I, we used to paint ceramics together. We've sewn together. What else have we done? We've done so many things over the years. I'm one of those people, I get into something really heavy for a while. I buy like everything under the sun. And then I'll pick up something else. Paper beading I've stayed with longer than anything. And of course, now that my business is around it, I will stick with that for a long time. But this and crocheting are my two right now. Paper beading and crocheting seem to be my two favorites. Just catching up on comments. Okay, I think we got it. Yeah. Hey guys, make sure you hit like on the video. I found out that if you hit like on the video, the more likes there are, the more YouTube shares it with people, which then of course helps the channel grow, which helps paper beading grow, which is awesome. So make sure you hit like if you get a chance. If you're on your phone, you have to actually exit the comments to see the like, but if you're on your computer, you should be able to see it. So what kind of papers do you guys use the most? Hey, Robin. All right. She said, be right back. Gina from Belly Beads calls me the queen of cardstock because I use cardstock the most. I don't know why. I like it. I like the thickness of it. It's easy to work with for me. So that's my paper of choice. But I have been doing some other stuff. I posted something in Paper Bead Fanatics earlier tonight, showing you guys that my husband is a drag racer, right? He actually has a channel, a YouTube channel where he drag races. And so he has all these drag racing catalogs laying around. So I started cutting them up, and I made a necklace out of it, and I posted it in Paper Beads. And I don't have a tutorial on that, although I mean I guess I could do one, but I just did it for fun. So I figured I'd show you guys. It's in the other room, or I would go grab it, but that's right, Keen. I keep forgetting your kids do YouTube. They do retreats here in Mexico teaching Spanish. That is awesome. They rent a big Airbnb. See, that's what we need to do. Totally what we need to do. Amanda says she loves magazine pages most. They do it for a whole week. Wow. I wouldn't mind doing it for 4 or 5 days. Much longer than that, that might be too much for me. I tend to be more introverted. We're totally going to do it once this pandemic goes away. And it will. It absolutely will. Just might be next summer. Ooh, so they have tons of bulk beads. Are they handmade beads, or are they like regular, kind of like traditional beads? They're in Mexico. I might have to get you to send me some. I'll pay you for them, but they don't have a lot of paper. That's interesting. I'm trying to make sure that I am being equitable here with the colors I'm using, making sure that I have equal numbers of white on the bottom and then each color on the bottom. So that's why I'm rolling these and putting them into the containers like I am. Just want to make sure I am doing it right, because knowing me, I'll use blue and orange on everything. Coral, I guess I like to call it coral. Aisha says she's got papers, but don't know if it's for paper beading. You know what? You can use anything for paper beading, really. I mean, I've seen people use tissue paper. I've seen people use tin foil. My dad cut apart a soda can and made paper beads out of it. He wants me to do a tutorial on it, but I might have to wait till I can travel again and let him help me do a tutorial on it. You can use anything for paper beading. That's what's so cool about it. You can even use recycled stuff. Like if you have a container from food, like a box, like a cereal box or a soda can box or a frozen food box. Those things are awesome for paper beading. They make really good paper beads. And then if you don't like the colors that come out of it, you can paint them. You can paint them before, you can paint them after. Totally up to you. So really anything you have, you can use for paper beads. It's part of what makes this so cool. And that's what makes this such a cheap craft. I mean, like I said, I've done a lot of crafting over the years. I have spent a lot of money on crafts over the years. And of all the crafts I've done, paper beading is probably the least expensive, because I can use paper that I already have, paper that I had for other crafts that, just leftover stuff sitting around my craft room. You can use it up. It's awesome. What did I say my dad used? He used a tin can, a soda can, to make a paper bead. And I thought when he said that, I was like, oh, don't cut yourself. Like, right? But however he did it so there were no sharp edges. So next time I can get to Ohio, which will hopefully be this summer, but I don't know. My parents are getting the vaccine shortly. They live in a community that has a nursing home and stuff. They're not in a nursing home, but they live in a community that has part of it, and so they're going to be able to get that vaccine soon. So hopefully by the summer I'll be able to go home and visit them, and we'll see what he did. Oh, there goes the dog. Sorry about that. Bailey! He likes to bark at anybody who happens by the house. Oh, candy. I know those election junk flyers, those election mail, man, those things make the best. And I got a bunch of those this year that were huge too. That so they made like nice long beads. Yes. That's one good thing about election years is you get a lot of useful paper for paper beads. I'm sure the politicians will be glad. I don't think they care, but I'm sure they'll be happy that their stuff gets used instead of thrown away. I don't know. I was thought about taking some of my favorite candidates, local candidates, and making them jewelry out of their election flyers and giving it to them. I wonder if they would appreciate that. They'd kind of be like, what? You did what? So this is much more fun talking to you guys than just sitting here by myself. Oh my goodness. Oh, let it go. See, that's the fun part about doing this live. You guys get to see all the mistakes I make. When I do the tutorials, look at that. I edit them pretty well. I don't always edit out every mistake, but I try to because personally myself, when I'm trying to follow a tutorial for something like crocheting and the person makes a mistake, I make the mistake with them and then I have to back out of it. And so I always try to edit out any mistakes in my tutorials. But when I'm live, you get to see me and all my real glory. Fun stuff, right? Oh, jewelry by Pat's Design. I use all types of paper, cereal boxes, magazines, greeting cards, etc. But you love cardstock. Yeah, see, me too. And you print on it for added color and patterns. Do you, Pat, do you print, do you just use like inkjet printer or do you use like waterproof? Like how does it work with the glaze? Like I've done some stuff on my inkjet and it seems to work pretty well, but I'm just curious if you have any special tips for us. That's awesome. Robin, what am I making with these beads? Yes, I have something in mind for these beads that I have been wanting to make for several months. And it involves one of the new products that I just put out in the store. The, do I have any right here? Oh gosh, no, I'll have to go in the other room and grab them. I should have grabbed some. They're the round sterling, or not sterling silver, round stainless steel charms. I have a project that I'm going to pair these with those round stainless steel charms and make something gorgeous. It has been in my brain for months. And the reason I didn't get done sooner than this, mostly, well, number one was the surgery and all that stuff, but also because I had trouble finding those charms that were quality enough. Sorry, I gotta get a baby wipe. My hands are starting to get gluey. That were good enough quality that I wanted to sell them in my store. Like you can buy the cheaper charms, stamping charms like that, but they're not really, they weren't stainless steel. They were coated. And then if you do that, they get scratched up and they just don't stay nice for very long. So I searched and found the stainless steel ones. Here, give me just a second. I'm going to go grab some and show you guys. Give me just a second. Here I go. Just got to go over here in my next room over. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that took me a second to find what I was looking for. Okay. These are them. Oh, Pat, Julie by Pat Design says she uses her inkjet printer. Perfect. So these are the little charms that I'm going to pair. They're 8mm charms, and there's the 8mm round bead pattern that I have available on the website. I'm going to pair these together and do something really cute with them. I cannot wait. So that'll be coming up, not the next tutorial, but the tutorial after that. Unless something else comes to mind or somebody asks a question that sparks something for me, but you never know when that's going to happen. But I'm excited. So these are available on the website right now. They come in packs of 20. And I try, you know, I realized the other day I was watching this marketing seminar. And I realized that I've never really been super clear about how I sell the findings. But one thing that I hate, it's like a total pet peeve of mine, is I don't like having a bunch of stuff left over from a project, right? When I do a project, I want to be able to spend just a little bit of money and get just enough of the findings or whatever it is, the beads or whatever, just enough to do that project. I don't want to have to buy a big, huge bag and then have a million things left over sitting around my craft room taking up space, right? So when I package these findings to sell, I package them in smaller packages for less money because I think, well, then if you want a lot of them, you can just buy several packs. But if you only want enough to do one project, you can just buy what you need. And that way you don't have a ton of money sitting around on the shelves of your craft room, you know, because I'm very money conscious. My husband has a very expensive hobby and we are not millionaires. So I always try to be frugal. And he does too. I mean, his hobby is, I mean, he does amazing. He does so much with that race car with used parts and, you know, figuring things out himself. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying cars are expensive. So we're always looking for how to save money. And so I feel like that's why when I decided how to package my findings, I didn't package like huge bags. Like you don't have to buy 100 of those things. You can just buy 20. And if you feel like you're going to need more than 20 for your project, you can buy 2 packs. Then you have just what you need. And you don't have a ton sitting around your craft room. Oh, thank you, Penny. Yes, I am feeling much better. I actually took a nice walk today with Chase. And what I've been doing, we just live in a little circle with like 7 houses. It's not a cul-de-sac. It's got like trees in the middle. But I've just been doing laps around there because I was afraid to get too far away that I would be in pain and not be able to get home. And I just did not want my husband to have to come pick me up in the car. So I've just been doing laps around the block. And today I actually got to walk down the neighborhood and did really well with it. I was so excited. I can't tell you how much the little things matter when it's your health and you're not feeling well and you're so limited in your mobility. To get that back is just amazing. Like I can't tell you how much it means to me to just be able to go on a simple walk with my dog and my son. So, ooh, Candy. The last year's calendars. Do you roll all of it? Do you just roll the picture parts or do you roll the date parts too? Just curious how that comes out. Oh, Robin. Well, so yeah, I had like a 2-year ordeal where I was having massive migraine headaches that were being caused by my spine being out of place. And it took a lot to figure out that's what the problem was. I had MRIs and I had, all kinds of stuff. Went to a couple different neurologists and we figured out it was all due to the alignment of my spine. And so I had surgery in August. Sounds so funny. Like I'm getting used to talking about it in public, but it's an interesting thing. breast reduction surgery. So the girls were pretty big. They were size G or H, depending on who you talk to. And they were pulling so hard on my neck and my shoulders that it was causing nerves to be pinched. Oops, I think I accidentally just did 2 white ones together. Oh well, that's fine. And so in August I had surgery, and yeah, and it's taken some time to recover, because once, like almost instantly after the surgery, the pain went away, the headaches went away. Oh my gosh, it was like night and day difference. You would not believe how fast that surgery helped. Hey Cheryl, thanks for joining us. The surgery was like a miracle for me. But then I wasn't allowed to do any kind of physical activity for 8 weeks. Couldn't lift my hands above my shoulders. Couldn't do a lot for myself for 8 full weeks. So that took us through what? So it was end of August, September. That took us through October. And then I had some trouble with the incisions opening up on me. So that took us kind of through November. So it's really just been December. I went back to physical therapy at the beginning of December, and graduated in 4 weeks because I was doing so well. Like I was able to do things that I haven't been able to do in years. Squats, things that I just couldn't even physically do at all. Now I can do much easier. So I still have a lot of work to do to strengthen those muscles so that my spine stays where it's supposed to be. But there's no more, because there's nothing pulling it out of place anymore. It's really just a matter of strengthening those muscles, which hopefully will happen pretty quickly. And then my hips were, it was amazing. My hips were out of place. My whole body was out of place because of the weight. Isn't that weird? 3 days after the surgery. So my hips were out of place for 2 years, right? And it hurt to walk. 3 days after the surgery, my hips put themselves back in place. 3 days. Like I literally felt it happen. It was crazy. Hey, Donna. I mentioned you earlier, I think. How are you? We were talking about having a paper beading retreat. I thought you'd be up for it. So Robin, you've had some issues too. Yeah, back pain is the worst, man. Because, when your back hurts, like everything else, like you can't move your pinky without hurting your back. That's the bad part about it. Oh, thank you, Robin. I mean, it was, I tried not to let it show a lot. And I think even if you look back at my videos, I don't think you can really tell. Like I really did my best to hide the pain I was in and just keep moving on with life, because I didn't know if I was ever going to get better. And I was like, this is not going to be me, but yeah, my physical therapist, it's funny because she's actually my son and her son are also best friends. They've been best friends since they went to preschool together. And so I was going to physical therapy prior to the surgery. And so she saw me then. And then she didn't really see me again until December when I went back to physical therapy. So even though she's known me for a long time and we've hung out together, because of COVID, we haven't been able to hang out together. When she saw me walk into the room the first week of December, and she was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, I did not realize how much this was affecting you, or how much you've changed. She's like, the spark is back in your eye. She's like, I didn't realize it was gone, but now that I see you in comparison to before your surgery, it's like night and day difference. And I was like, yep. And I'm bouncing around the room, she just couldn't get over the change in me. So I'm excited about that. I tried really hard to just keep moving on and, doing what I needed to do and keep the business going. Thank goodness for Kate. If it weren't for Kate, I don't know what I'd have done. But yeah, I think I'm back now. I hope so. I hope I'm back. Donna, you up for it? I think we should do a retreat at the beach in North Carolina as soon as COVID's over. As soon as we're allowed to see each other again. Rent a big space, do like a 4-day, something like that. I think so. really liking these beads. I think once they get glazed, they'll smooth out. That's one of the not problems, but one of the things about using the 65-pound cardstock. It's easy to work with. It makes nice chunky beads and they harden really well. But the ridges on the edges are very obvious. Like if you use magazine paper, your beads are much smoother than mine because the magazine paper is so thin. The ridges are not as obvious. But one thing you'll notice is when you start glazing these beads with 65-pound cardstock, the ridges become less obvious because the glaze sort of like fills them in a little bit. And if you do 3 to 4 coats, I would say, you end up filling in the ridges almost all the way, and you end up with a very smooth bead. Now, 3 to 4 coats when you're hand brushing can be a lot if you're doing a ton of beads. I tend to do beads in small batches because, you know, my method, I guess you could say my creative method for working with this stuff is I get an idea in my head of what I want to make, and then I make the beads. And I only make enough beads to do that project. Whereas I know some of you will make beads in mass amounts. Like you'll cut up a bunch of paper and you'll roll and you'll glaze and you'll do them in large batches. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's totally cool. Again, that's part of what we love about paper beading is that everybody can do whatever they want. But I think that helps dictate what method you're going to use to glaze, right? Donna's in, Robin's in, I think Nan's in. Let's do it. All right. I'll get together with Gina and Zoe. We will make this happen. Because I can't do it without Gina and Zoe. Yeah, so glazing. So I think that's, you know, there's a lot of methods of glazing, and I don't, you know, some people swear by other, you know, certain methods, but really they all work. It's just a matter of what suits your style and the way you craft, I think. And some, of course, look better than others. Like I've seen people do some so beautiful, beautiful glossy beads. But I've seen people do that with all different methods too. So I think part of it is about how much patience you have and how much time you spend on it. I don't know. I really like the way these beads are turned out. I had not intended on mixing up the colors like this to make like a stripe in the middle. I had not intended on that when I first started this. I was going to do them. Well, here, I'll show you in a sec. I rolled these on film before I went live. Originally, I was going to, hold on. Amanda, you going to come too? That would be awesome. Originally, I was just going to do it like this. So this is where I just took the white paper, the blue paper, the orange paper. But then I started with this, doing the opposite, and I was like, okay, that looks too cool. I totally need to do that. I definitely think Amanda should come. I think there's a lot of people I'd love to see. That's the funny thing about meeting somebody on the internet. You kind of like, you feel like you know them, but you've never really met them. Let's see, where's a white one? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oranges. Okay. Oh wait, here we go. This is the middle. This is why I split them up like this. Oh, and that white one goes here. Okay, so I've got 1, 2. Oh, I need orange and white. I need another orange and white. Trying to make sure that I'm doing this equitably so I have the same number of beads of all the shapes. Amanda's in. I love it. All right, we'll have to find a place that we can keep the costs down, that we can rent. That'll be fun. I'll have Kate get on that. I love this little glue bottle, by the way. If you guys haven't gotten one of these, it's like a game changer. When I was using full glue bottles to do this, I was getting glue everywhere. I still get glue, you know, you see me have to wipe my hands a few times, but these little glue bottles are the bomb. They let you control exactly how much glue is going onto your bead and exactly where it's going. The only annoying thing is the cap. Oh, look, I forget to use my holder that Brenda made me. All right, let's see. Am I even on all these? No. Oh, that one's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Good with that. Okay, now we can start back with the blues. I feel like this is taking me a while. Robin says she wasted so much glue before. I know, right? And even though it's like white glue and it's not super expensive, still, who wants to waste stuff? Candy said the picture parts. Oh, you had to pause because they came to clean your villa. I'm so jealous. Candy's visiting her daughter, by the way, if anybody didn't pick up on that, in Mexico. There we go. So I also bought a new light set, by the way. I'm using new lights to light up my stage here. And I feel like there's some shadows. Do the shadows bother you guys? Like you can kind of see a shadow where my hands are. These lights are LEDs, whereas my old set was like an old-fashioned incandescent, and they were huge. Like they were constantly in the way here in my craft room. So I bought these new ones off of Amazon, and I can't get the shadows to completely go away. So tell me if you even noticed it before I said it, number one, or if it bothers you, because I'm worried that it's gonna bother people. Oh, Amanda, that's a great tip. So insert the cap strap the other way so that it bends back instead of bending toward. That is a great tip. Thank you. Actually, I think mine is that. Is mine? No? I can't really tell. I'll have to flip it and see. I think mine is the traditional way. Oops, I keep forgetting. Holding these upside down is especially important for these little needle nose glue bottles because if you let the air get into that little tube, it will block them up so fast. And then like this one was actually blocked before I got on live. I had to go in the other room and run water through it and use a head pin to clear out the glue so I could use it. Man, you think the color looks better with the lights? Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a little white. It's a lot whiter. The other lights were white incandescents, but they still weren't as white as these LEDs. And these ones are so small, they sit on my desk. Whereas the other ones are taller than me. They're these like big umbrella lights. These ones are tiny, tiny, tiny. And actually, when it came in the box, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think that's what I ordered. And then I saw what they were. And I thought they were teeny. I was really glad. Okay, thanks, Robin. She said the shadow is not bothering her, so that's good. See, this is where live is awesome. I can ask you guys your opinion on stuff. I think I'm about halfway through these beads. This is only 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 was all I made. And I cut them on the Scan and Cut. Because it's way easier. I keep forgetting to use my glue thing. If you've been thinking about purchasing a cutting machine, I highly recommend it. I will tell you what, I used, hand cut my beads for a really long time. And especially with the back issues, it was difficult because for some reason, sitting at a guillotine, like a guillotine cutting board, it hurts my back. It still does even now, I think, until I get a little stronger. But I really just couldn't cut very much. And cutting with scissors gives you, it's kind of jaggedy. They're not very consistent. So when I got the Scan and Cut, oh my gosh, that was like a game changer for my paper beading. And that's actually when I started the channel, is after I got the Scan and Cut. Because it was like I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I didn't think I'd be able to keep up with it because of the pain that I was going through whenever I tried to cut strips. But once I got the Brother Scan and Cut, it was like the world opened up to paper beading, and I was able to do as many strips as I needed, and I was able to come up with cool shapes, and I was able to cut faster. I mean, and they're consistent. All my beads are more consistent, which really, I mean, that depends on what you want out of your paper beads, because sometimes the inconsistency is part of the beauty of a paper bead piece. But I do like things like this to be consistent. And so that Scan and Cut has been amazing. I have both the Scan and Cut and the Cricut. And I really like the Scan and Cut better, to be perfectly honest. Robin, Happy New Year, Robin. I know, right? Can you believe it's 2020? I'm sorry, 2021. Yeah, see, even I can't believe it's not 2020 anymore. I got to go back to work on Monday at my contract job. I don't know if my brain is going to go with me or not. It might just be left behind. They're going to be like, okay, you're done. Ooh, Amanda. That is smart. She says she keeps a small bead workbox in her car for after school pickup line, and laying the bottle on its side helps the tip not to dry out. You are so right. That is so smart. Keeping a project box in the car so you can work on it while you're waiting. I love that. I'll have to do that. My son is going, well, I don't know if he is or not. They went all virtual school here again. He stayed virtual the whole first semester, and he did pretty good. I mean, it's tough. I feel, man, I have so much respect for these teachers. It is so hard right now for them to keep up with these kids, and it's hard for the kids, it's been tough, but he ended up pulling out really good grades this quarter. I was so proud of him. And, but he decided he wants to try to go back to the hybrid option. So the entire school system in my county shut down because they had so many teachers out, they couldn't staff the classrooms. So we are virtual until the end of January, and then they're going to decide whether or not they feel like they can, get enough teachers to bring the kids back. So it wasn't even about like wasn't even about like the level of exposure, anything like that. It's just they had so many hundreds of teachers out, and nobody wants to sub right now. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to sub either. So, oh, Robin. Yeah, you know what though? With the machines, so she thinks she's maybe not as computer savvy. I don't know. Let me think about it. I feel like if you use, I don't know, whether you use the pre-done digital files like I sell or whether you try to make your own, the actual using machine isn't too bad. Especially like with the scan and cut, if you purchase, I think it's about $30, you purchase the digital card. What that does is it allows you to connect your computer with your machine wirelessly. So when I first started using my scan and cut, I used a cord, and I always had to have the computer connected with a cord to the machine. And I thought, well, that's fine. I don't need to spend $30 to wirelessly transfer things. And then my mom got the wireless card and I used it, and I was like, holy geez, this is so much easier. So I asked for it for Christmas that year and got it. And so now what's really nice is I can just take, like, for what I did for these is I pulled up the file that I've already created, which is the digital file that I sell for the round beads, pulled it up into the software, hit the button that said send to the machine, and it sent to the machine. And I just went over to the machine and said, pull up the file, threw in my mat, and hit the button for cut. Like, it's so easy. It's so simple. Now, creating the files is a little harder. It took hours and hours of trial and error when I first got my machine to figure out how to create the bead cut files so that they would cut well and so that they would use the paper economically, and so they would work on multiple kinds of machines. I mean, I have spent hours figuring that out. So that is a little bit harder, but actually if you've got a pre-formatted file, loading it into a machine is actually quite simple. It only takes, like, I don't know, 30 seconds to do. And I've got videos on how to do that on the scan and cut, and I have videos on how to do that on the Cricut. The only machine I have not personally used, well, of the big three anyway, is the Silhouette. But I've heard that the Silhouette is very easy to use. Maybe one of these days I'll get that one too, just for kicks. Yeah, right. I don't think I'm going to buy a machine like that just for kicks, but they're a little too expensive for that. But who knows? With the scan and cut, what is the longest paper it can cut? So the standard mats are 12 by 12, but you can get 12 by 24. So you can do mats that are the 24 inches long. And I think you can do that on the Cricut as well. But really, if you're trying to decide between the two machines, they're pretty comparable. The biggest, there's two things that I've learned from having both machines. If you are a scrapbooker or a stamper and you use ink pads and stamps and stuff like that, you really need the scan and cut, because you can print things out. So you can print it on the printer, you can stamp it on a paper with your stamps and your ink. You feed it into the scan and cut, and the scan and cut will cut it out for you, like fussy cut the shape for you. So if you're doing that kind of crafts, the scan and cut is the way to go for sure. What I have seen, and the Cricut doesn't have a scanner, so it can't do anything like that. What I have seen the Cricut do better though, and I'm not a big vinyl person. Like, I've done some of the vinyl stuff. I did a decal for John's race car, stuff like that. But if you're going to be doing a lot of the vinyl, the Cricut may be the better option for you, because it allows you to do a color separation. It's so nice. It's much nicer than, I haven't figured out how to do it like that on the scan and cut. Now, you might be able to, but I haven't figured it out. So if you're doing a lot of vinyl, the Cricut, and you don't need the scanner, the Cricut may be the better option for you. Overall ease of use, I like the scan and cut better. And I will tell you what, of the people who buy my digital files, the Cricut people have problems, and it's not the same problem. Like, it seems like machines have their own little issues. Like, it's just everybody's machine treats things a little differently. And so I troubleshoot with people. That's actually why I bought the Cricut, because I was perfectly happy with my scan and cut, but I had so many Cricut users asking me for help with their files they bought that I was like, okay, I just need to buy a machine so I can help these people. And I thought when I bought the machine, all would become clear, and I would be able to just, figure out what the problem was. Well, that's not the case, because it'll work perfect for me and they'll still have problems, or it'll work differently for them. It's been an interesting experience for sure. So, let's see, let's do a white. So yeah, that's been my experience. But like I said, I don't want to, the Cricut's a good machine, but for paper beading, if you're going to buy it just for paper beading, I totally will buy the Scan and Cut. It takes SVG so much nicer. And it allows me to build the files so that your paper, like one cut cuts 2 strips. And I cannot get that to work on the Cricut. I'm having to actually reformat all of my digital files to work better with the Cricut, because it's just not, it just isn't as sophisticated in its cutting as the Scan and Cut. So if you're going to do it for paper beads, get the Scan and Cut. They are pretty pricey, Robin. QVC often has the Scan and Cut cheaper, but it's around $300. That's why I was laughing when I said I'll just buy the Silhouette for no reason. That's not going to happen. It's too much money to spend for no reason when I have 2 other machines already. But I also don't have, I think I've only ever had one Silhouette person contact me for help with files. Now, is that because the Silhouette is a better machine, or because less people have it? I don't know. But the owner of Craft Habit, that local craft store I was talking about earlier, she has all 3 machines in the store, and she says she likes the Silhouette best. So I don't know what she's cutting most. She's a big sewer. She may be cutting fabric, and all the machines will cut fabric, but I don't know. Yeah, but check QVC if you're interested in a Scan and Cut. Or watch for it on Amazon. A lot of times some sellers will do huge discounts on it. I think I got mine for let's say $280 something. I have the older machine though. I've got mine before this new DX came out. So let me wipe off my bottle. I keep forgetting to put it in the thing. Can you cut fabric or vinyl on the Scan and Cut? Yes, you can. You absolutely can cut vinyl and fabric on the Scan and Cut. And I've done both. Let's see, what do I need? I also, guess what I got for Christmas, you guys? Oh, I'm so excited, and I haven't had time to use it yet. My husband got me the engraving set for the Scan and Cut. So that's another reason why these little guys are exciting me, because not only am I going to use them, I'm not going to engrave them for this tutorial that I do with these beads, but at some point when I get some time to play, I have the engraving tools for the Scan and Cut. And so I'm going to be able to engrave metal on my machine. So I will let you know. I'll probably do a tutorial or something on it once I get around to playing with it. Very excited about that. Then I can start offering you guys like engraved charms and stuff. Wouldn't that be cool? You can order engraved charms with anything you want on it. We'll see how it goes. If it's easy to do and it does a good job. Oh, you are welcome for the tips, Robin. Absolutely. It's one of the fun parts about doing lives. I get to learn from you guys, like Amanda's tip about the lid on the glue bottle. And you guys learn from me. Fun stuff. All right, let's see. We got 6 there, 6 there. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I only got 5 of those. All right, so we need to do Look, I'm almost done. I only have a few strips left. Then we got a glaze. Then tomorrow, I will edit this video and try to post it. I like to post. I used to post every week on Sunday nights. That was my thing. Every Sunday night I had a new tutorial and I was pretty consistent about it. And then when I started getting sick, I wasn't able to keep up. And so I've been really trying to get back to that. So it's really every 2 weeks probably. But I like to post on Sunday nights. It seems to be when everybody's home and they're sort of kind of getting ready for the week and have time to watch. So try to get back to my Sunday night tutorials. Cool, Robin. Let me know if you get one. The new version of the Scan and Cut auto senses the thickness of your paper. My version doesn't do that, but this latest version does, and I am so jealous. Literally, I bought mine like 2 months before that new version came out. If I had known, I would have waited. One of these days, I'll get it. But I mean, these machines last you forever, so I don't know at what point I'll be like, okay, it's time to upgrade. Maybe we can get Brother to sponsor me. Wouldn't that be awesome? They could sponsor me and send me one. Yeah, right. That would be great. Somebody help me with the pitch to Brother. Because we have paper beaters who want to use the Scan and Cut, right? Amanda says, when using charms and they are not top of the line, do you recommend sealing them with anything? That's a great question. I think you could try it and see how it goes. I don't know what it will do to the shine of them, but it's definitely worth experimenting. These ones that I have in the store are stainless steel. So they're gonna last really well. They're not gonna, run off at the edges and stuff. The only thing, they may get a little scratched up if you wear a lot. Eventually, of course, all jewelry. That happens to all jewelry if you wear it a lot. But yeah, you could try coating it. Kind of like I used to coat, like there were certain rings and stuff that when I was younger that would turn my fingers green, and I would coat it with a clear nail polish. Did you guys ever do that? I totally did that. I think you could try coating them. I have a feeling though, especially if it's a piece that clangs together, that it might chip off the metal is the only thing I'd worry about. But until you try it, you don't know. So maybe test one and wear it around on a piece of jewelry for a little bit and see what happens before you paint a lot of them. Hello, Dagmar Krings. You are in Europe, in Germany. Oh, I'm so glad you came to say hi. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Yeah, who knows, Robin? I'll have to send him a pitch. So we got all these paper beaters. Let's give one away. How about that? They can send me one and we can do a prize giveaway with one. I think that is the way to go. Who wants to win a machine? I should work on that. Robin wants to win one. I know, right? Dan wants one too. All right, well, maybe I'll have to do a pitch letter to brother and say, hey, you've got an untapped market here. Don't forget your paper beaters. Then we're coming down to the final few strips. This is exciting. How long have we been on? I wasn't keeping track. Oh my gosh, we've been on an hour. Have we really been on an hour and a half? Wow, it does not seem like that long. How long you guys want to watch me roll? Should we glaze too? It's so much more fun than doing it by myself. Robin, no. This is, I mean, come on. This is the holiday season. You got 2 days left before things go back to normal. You get to relax. That's what this is about. Take some time for yourself. Enjoy the first few days of the year, because then it all goes back to normal. We have all the stresses we deal with every day. So much to be done. No, let's take advantage of this. Let's rest. I actually had all kinds of plans originally for this holiday. I was going to completely redo my website, which I did upgrade the website a little bit. I did do a few changes. There's 7 there. 3. Wait, this goes in the wrong. This goes in here. Oh, so I need another. Okay. I did do some changes to my website. And I ordered a new product for my husband. I designed a new t-shirt for him. He sells a lot of t-shirts for his drag racing, but I really did not get to do, I had so many things planned that I was going to do. And I had to take a few days off, so don't feel bad. Take advantage of it. Rest, recharge, get ready for this coming week. I've got some interesting things coming up. Unfortunately, though, they're only for people in North Carolina. But because I teach at Johnson Community College, I teach continuing education, and I teach 2 classes right now. One is called How to Make Money When You Don't Have a Job, which is 3 weeks long, 3 nights a week, and it's all about like things you can do from home to make money. Anybody who lives in North Carolina can take the class online. And then I have a class called Land It, which is a job search class. But they're starting a new program, which I helped develop for website design. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to be a website designer. I used to have my own website design firm. That's actually how I left corporate, is I designed web pages for people for about 4 years before I got a little burned out on it. So I'm going to be creating some new classes this summer that will go along with that degree, which will be like, I'm going to create a basic marketing class, and possibly a website design class. I don't know. We're going to talk about it next week, I think, and see. But that kind of stuff is a lot of fun for me. I love teaching. Teaching is my thing. I was a corporate trainer for 20 years, but I love teaching paper beads more. It's so much more fun than anything I ever taught when I was in corporate training. Oh, Nan, that's a good idea. Maybe I can make a deal with brother and bundle my files. Like they have those cards you can buy, like with the Disney stuff and all that on it. I have to make more files, though, I think. I don't think I have enough. Oh, that's crooked. Look at me. Oh, good. I got it before it set. There we go. That's better. That's one thing, man. If you get the end of this first strip crooked, the whole bead gets off. And sometimes I usually just throw them away if I can't fix it because they just look so awkward. Or I put it in my bead stash. Do you guys have a bead stash? Like, if I, like, for example, okay, these beads I'm making right now, what'll happen is I'll use them for my project, but I'll usually have a few left over. So I have this big jar of beads that are just like left over. Some people call it bead soup. And I have this huge bead stash. And I'll give them away. It's like sometimes when I teach classes, I give them away, or sometimes when I'll have special promotions. You get some in your starter kits. If you order a starter kit from me, you'll get a little envelope of finished beads from my bead stash. So you might even recognize them. You might even get some of the beads that I've done in a tutorial. I might also have a bead strip stash, which you'll see when I put this video out. You'll see some of these beads that strips that I use and put in my bead strip stash. Because, I don't like wasting anything. If there's strips and I have strips left over, I throw them in a stash where I can grab them if I ever want to make something later. Or I give them away to people in my classes or whatever. I'm wondering if I'm the only one who does that or if you guys do that too. Hey, Jenny Howitt from Florida. How's the weather in Florida tonight? We've had such a cold streak here. And I have some friends who just moved here from Florida the week before Christmas. And I've been feeling bad for them because since they got here, the weather has been nasty. Rainy, overcast, dreary. I'm like, oh, you guys are probably regretting your move because compared to Florida, this is like the worst time of the year to be in Raleigh. It's a very quiet night at my house. I don't know if you guys can hear my son. He's over in the other room next door playing. I don't know what he's playing. Minecraft, maybe? He does a lot of video games. He's got his own YouTube channel. Robin, that's right. Your mom and sister are going to totally steal your stash. They're going to steal your papers, too. All the pretty papers you have. That's the downfall of crafting with family, right? We did a bead exchange in Paper Bead Fanatics. And by the way, you guys, if you're not in the Facebook group, you might want to head over there and join. It's called Paper Bead Fanatics on Facebook. And it's the group that I started because I felt like it was such a one-sided conversation on the YouTube channel. Like I got to show you what I was doing, but you guys never got to show me what you were doing. So I wanted a place where I could see your stuff. So I started a Paper Bead Fanatics Facebook group. And so you can head over there and join us. I think the link is in the description of this video. It should have popped in there. I have it set because it's kind of like a standard thing. But we did a bead exchange last year, and it was a lot of work. I don't know. We should do another one. But everybody got to send 10 beads to somebody else in the group. It was a lot of fun. I got some cool beads out of it. And I got beads, there were beads that I wouldn't have normally made. So it was neat to have them in my stash, and I was able to make something different out of them because they're a different style than what I generally make, which is what's so cool, again, about paper beading. Everybody does it their own way. Everybody puts their own style on it. And it's so super cool. Robin says her mom is already asking for her samples. Oh my gosh. I don't blame her. Hey, Misty. She's in Illinois. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. We're just hanging out, not really doing a whole lot, just chit-chatting and making paper beads. I had all these to do for my next tutorial, so I figured I would hang out with you guys. Like, there's hardly any left. I just got a few. So that's exciting. All right, so we'll do, this is my last white base strip. We'll do it with a peach or a orange. Then we'll be done with the whites. I should have grabbed one of my thicker handle rollers. I usually use the thick handle ones. They're a little bit easier on my hands. Oh, Dagmar says the Facebook group is great. Lots of creative members and the help is great too. Yes, that's one thing about Paper Bead Fanatics, you know, is that everybody's nice. Like we don't let people get ugly in there. And not very rarely have I ever had to moderate anything. Everybody there is so nice. And you know, and they'll give you constructive criticism if you ask for it. If you want to know how to make your beads better, they'll tell you. But if you don't ask for that, generally, you don't get, you know, people just give you encouragement, which I think is good because I have found, this is one thing that surprised me when I first started the Facebook group. I shouldn't have been surprised though, but people are very nervous about sharing their craft projects, even if they've been doing it for a while. There are some people in that group who are so talented, who've been doing paper beads for a very long time. And I found that they are just as nervous when they share their stuff as the new people are. Like they're worried that it's not going to be good enough or somebody's going to say something bad about it. Generally, that does not happen in our Facebook group. You know, but like I said, constructive criticism is good. You know, we all need to get better. And so getting help from people and, you know, having people tell you what you could do better is great, but in a nice way, right? All right, I've just got these few things left. Let's see, how am I going to pair these up? Actually, I must have lost, oh, there's one. I must have lost some of my thinner ones because I don't have even numbers. Okay, we'll do these, do this, and we'll do that. Okay, perfect. 3 more, then we're done. Oh, Robin, you like the bigger handles? Yes, I like them too. Actually, you know what's really funny is I don't know for sure. I know I have some arthritis, but since my surgery and my neck and back issues have gotten better, my hands are hurting less. So I think some of the issues that I was experiencing were actually nerve pinched issues. Some of the pain in my hands that I was experiencing were nerve issues. Isn't that scary? Does not look right. What if I grabbed a wrong strip or something? That looks a little choppy to me. Let me see if I'm just not paying enough attention to my rolling. There we go. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I just didn't roll it well. I was distracted. There we go. Yes, Robin, you need to share. People are super nice, but yeah, everybody is scared to share their stuff at first. So don't be scared. We want to see it. And you never know, you could be doing something that nobody thought of or that, you know, could give somebody else inspiration. And I get so much inspiration from you guys. I can't even tell you. And I try not to post too much. I don't dominate that group because, you know, if you guys want to see my stuff, you can go to my YouTube channel and see it. The Facebook group is for you. It's for you to, you know, show off and post your stuff and ask your questions. And so I try not to put my stuff too much in there. All right, one more strip and we're done. Robin, you've been struggling with your cone beads. What are they doing? Are you able, I don't know if you're able to explain it or not in the chat, but. All right, last one. That does not look right. Wonder if I grabbed a couple wrong strips or something. Wouldn't surprise me. Looks okay though in the shapes. Maybe I'm just seeing things. There we go. Okay, last glue. There we go. Now to glaze. Let's see. Do I have everything I need? So first of all, I need to make sure that I clean this off and shut it, because if I don't, this will clog up. And that is never good. There we go. All right. Let's see. We need, where did I do the glaze? Oh, here it is. So we're going to use the diamond glaze. Oh, the ones that are like cones but rounded on the end? Yes, they're like the teardrop kind of shape beads. You can never get them even. You know, you can do those with regular triangle strips, but I do have a template, and there's a video that will show you the shapes and give you the measurements. You don't have to buy the template. But I do have a video on that and how you can adjust your strips so that it's easier to make that shape. So I don't know if you've seen that one. Sorry, just grabbing my tools here. But you may want to check that video out, the cone shape bead. Oh yeah, Amanda says it's inspiring to see members. It really is. One perfect and the rest are junk. That happens to me a lot when I'm trying to do new stuff, for sure. No doubt. All right, let's see what we got here. My glasses back on. Yeah, that it might help if you do strips that are not perfect triangles, but they're like flat on the top edge, I guess. Is the best way I could describe them. This one misshaped that bead a little bit. I'll just do one on a toothpick just so they don't get misshapen. Oh, there we go. Misshaped that one. Okay, that's better. Are you guys brushers or dippers? I know we had one person who was an embosser. Do you guys like to brush or dip? I've tried dipping. I've been successful at it a little bit, but I find brushing to work better for my just the way I do beads, because I'm not doing the large batches. If I were doing large batches, I think dipping would have to be it. Misty's a brusher. Robin is a brusher. Pat's a dipper. Keep knocking these little spacers off with my elbow. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's the spacers falling off the edge of my desk. Brenda's on with us, you guys. Brenda, were your ears burning? Because I was talking about you earlier. I was using something that you gave me. Look. Were you on when I was doing this? I was using your glue stand, and I was telling them how you made it with the 3D printer. Oh, Robin says she likes to brush because it's less loss. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, that bead is not. I don't like that bead. Talking about losing beads. I just tossed one. It just didn't look good to me. There we go. You know, I never used to, I used to put them on, sorry, let me get this out of the bag first, so I'm making a lot of noise. I used to put beads on the toothpicks as I was brushing them. And then I went to go visit my mom, not this past summer, but summer before that. I haven't seen my mom in a year, you guys. I'm so sad about that. And she was doing it like this, you know, doing up the beads first and then brushing them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. And sure enough, I felt like the brushing went a lot faster when I did it this way. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. You're still doing the same thing, but it feels faster. Oh no, the 3D printer got wore out. Yes. Yeah, you'll have to get a new one so I can play with it when you move here. That would be fun. I need to buy one, honestly. There's so many cool things you can do with the 3D printer. They're just, gotta find one that's a good price. Good price for the money. Scrambles, what's horrible? That her 3D printer got burned out? Let's see, what time is it here? It is 7:50 p.m. I'm in the Eastern time zone. What time zone are you in? All right, almost ready to glaze. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. This is so much more fun than just sitting here doing this by myself. All right, now we are all set. Put these to the side. I already got water, because you gotta have water. If you get too much glaze built up on your brush, you are in some trouble. And where is my, just dropped another one of those. Oh my gosh, it's almost 1 a.m. Where are you? We've got people from Germany. We've got some people from, see, I'm on the East Coast. We've got some West Coast. We've got some Midwest folks. Where is I cannot find my little paint thing. Well, I'll just use one of these then, so I don't have to go get one. My little paint tray. Let's see. Donna says she does both depending on how many beads she's doing. See, and that's what I'm thinking too. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is if you're doing a ton of beads, brushing is going to take forever. Okay. Nan says Fab Lab. Some of the community colleges have them. Oh, so Fab Lab, it's like a place that has one that you can then come and use. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that. I know we have a thing here in Durham, North Carolina, where it's like a machine shop and you can rent by the hour. Like, you don't rent the whole place, but you can pay a little fee or become a member and get so many hours a month. And you can go use all they have like CNC machines and all like heavy like woodworking and metalworking equipment and stuff like that. So you can rent by the hour or go in there by the hour and use the machines. Okay, I got to show you guys. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera, but these colors just like, they're just popped once I put the glaze on. These are going to look nice. I am excited. Oh, Scrambles, thank you for the super chat. That's so nice. So you are in Belfast, Ireland. Wow. Ingrid's from South Africa. It's 3 a.m. for her. Oh my gosh. You guys are champs up here crafting at this time of the night. That is awesome, though, that you can hang out with me. See, that's what I should do the next time I have insomnia. Because I have insomnia a lot. I get stressed and I'm up. Next time I'm up at like 3 a.m., I'm going to come on and do it live. What do you guys think about that? Will you get a notice on your phone at 3 a.m. and come join me? Am I on screen? Oh, I'm off screen. Sorry about that. Just realized I was glazing off screen. We'll be known as the Insomniac Paper Beaters. Not a bad thing. I mean, if you're going to be awake, you might as well be productive, right? That's my opinion. Scramble says not at 3. Oh, thank you, Robin. I'm excited with how the colors popped. I wasn't really sure how this was going to go. Once the glaze got on, I was hoping that the colors would come out a little better. And it did. So I am so pleased. This is probably, I'll bet you this is going to end up being one of my favorites. And here's the interesting thing, you guys, about doing the YouTube channel. I have a lot of tutorials up now, right? Like, I don't even know how many. I think there's over 100 or close to 100. But sometimes I'll get ready and I'll start a tutorial. And what ends up coming out is not at all what I envisioned when I started the tutorial. And sometimes I actually don't like the jewelry or the project that I ended up with. I don't like it. Like, I wouldn't even wear it myself. There's a couple things I have. There's a few tutorials out there. Whoops. That have projects that I'm like, it's not my personal style. I just wouldn't wear it. I mean, it's fine. I went ahead and put the tutorial out because I feel like everybody has a different personal style. And even if it's not something I particularly like, there's going to be someone out there who likes what I made. So I put them out there anyway, but I don't even like everything because not everything turns out on camera or like when it's done the way that I envisioned it when I started the project. But this right here, this is exactly what I was envisioning. This is going to be one of my very favorite pieces, I think, ever. Because it's my favorite colors. And the colors are just popping. Yes. Scrambles cleans when he or she has insomnia. Yes. I wish. That would really be helpful if I could manage to do that. Oh, Ingrid says she likes to emboss the project bags she crochets with paper beads. Oh, Oh, you do stitch markers with paper beads? That is a great idea because I do crochet as well. So you like turn the paper beads into stitch markers? Is that what you're saying? Because that is cool. I should totally do that too. Hey, Mari, how are you? Is it Mari or Mary? I am making paper beads. So we just spent like an hour rolling these beads out of strips of paper. And now what I'm doing is I'm glazing them with something called diamond glaze, which will harden them and make them water resistant so that you can wear them as jewelry and they won't get ruined. So that's what we do mostly on my channel. We do paper beads, we do jewelry, and we do other craft projects with paper beads that are not necessarily jewelry. So now we're glazing. And I'm just doing a thin coat. So my first coat, I always try to keep it pretty thin because if you bulk it up too much, number one, it can get cloudy. And it can also unintentionally leave bulges in your glaze so that you don't get like a really cool, a really smooth coat. So this is diamond glaze. And it's just like a clear, they call it a dimensional adhesive, but it is just a clear glaze. But you can't do this with just like any glaze you get from the craft store. Trust me, when I first started paper beading, I just had glaze here at the house and I tried to use it on my paper beads and I got mush. It has to be a hardener, not just a glaze, but a hardener as well. So, and I've tried, let's see, what all have you guys used to glaze with? So let's name all the things you can glaze with. I know that some people use clear nail polish. That works because it's a hardener. We've used embossing powder. What else? Polyacrylic, like you get at the hardware store. Works. Triple thick, yes. Yep, actually I showed it on camera a little earlier in the live. I showed the bottle of triple thick too. Triple thick is one. Deco Arts triple thick. See, we said embossing. Oh, resin. If you get clear resin, I have a video when I use clear resin too. Oh, and this diamond glaze is available on my website. So paper bead rollers with an S, paperbeadrollers.com. You can buy this diamond glaze. There is some in stock right now. I can't always keep it in stock. This stuff is hard to get sometimes. And it's made by a person, like by a small business like me. Her name is Judy. And it's made by them. So I like to help out other small businesses when I can, carry their stuff. Yeah, the color is just popping on these. I am super excited. This is going to look awesome when I get it done. And there was a huge sale. I don't know if you guys like Ann Taylor or Loft, but they had a big, huge website sale because, they're having trouble with the pandemic. And I love the clothes. The clothes fit me really well from there. So I just got some today in the mail and it's like a white striped capris, like with a light blue stripe. And then 2 white shirts I got that go with it. This necklace is going to look perfect with that outfit for the spring. I'm super excited. That's another reason I kind of like paper beads, you guys, is, and when I first got into it, that was actually what I was trying to do is sometimes, you have an outfit that you like and you can't find the right piece of jewelry for it. Just the right colors that match it or anything like that. I'm always impressed when I see somebody out and they have like earrings and purse and all that or shoes and it matches. The colors actually match. The shades of the color match. It's so hard to do. And so when you make paper beads, you don't have to sit there, and look at the online picture of the beads and hope that the color is going to match, that your screen is not showing you a color that's different. You actually can make any colors you want. So you can make jewelry that perfectly matches your shoes or your purse or your shirt or whatever it is. Mary says, does it yellow over time? No, it does not yellow over time. I have pieces that are 5 or 6 years old and they have not yellowed yet. And I've never had diamond glaze crack either. Embossing has cracked, but diamond glaze and triple thick, they haven't cracked. Now I have gotten, especially on bracelets, I feel like I've had some bracelets where it kind of got a little like roughed up, and I hadn't really thought about it, but I could probably just put another coat over that, and I bet it would look good as new. So I may have to try that with some of the things that I have. There's a pendant, the big black ball that has the big 12mm bead caps on it. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but that is actually up to this point has been my favorite. Well, one of my, I don't have too many favorites. That has been one of my favorite. The one with the elephant pendant is one of my favorites too, but I wear that a lot and it's starting to dull a little bit. So I was just thinking I probably need to grab that and put another coat of diamond glaze on it and just see if I can't polish up the big black bead a little bit. They kind of look like planets. That is awesome. This could be my planet necklace when I get it done. Yeah, because that could be like the rings around it. Oh, that's awesome. You know, I thought about doing a planet bead. What do they call it? It's the solar system. You know, like kids have them hanging in their rooms and stuff. I thought about doing a solar system out of paper beads. That could be fun. A neat little project to do with the kids sometime. Much better than the styrofoam spray painted planets I had when I was in science class and had to do that. Nan asked if nail polish would crack. I haven't used nail polish myself, so I don't know. I think it would though, because you know how it peels off your nails. I don't know. I would think that it wouldn't last as long or it would wear. Nail polish wears off my nails pretty easy, but there's some people that's all they use is nail polish. So I don't know. What size paper strips did I use? So I used a template that you can find on the website, and there's also a video on it if you want to get the exact dimensions, but it's the round, it's the 8mm round that I have a video on. And I'm going to be putting out a video hopefully tomorrow night if I can get it edited to with these exact beads to show you exactly what it was that I did. So this will be coming out tomorrow. You can get all the details there. But it's the 8mm round strips on the website. You know, Robin, I don't know. I wonder if sanding it would, do you think sanding it would help or would it make it cloudy? That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Maybe I'll have to test it on like a test bead and see if that would work better. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe I'll need to do a video on it, like how to refresh your beads. One good thing about this diamond glaze, more than a lot of other glazes, is it really dries fast. Now, part of it is humidity. I've noticed that if I'm in a higher humidity area, it takes longer. But the humidity in my house is usually pretty good. So as long as you're not in a high humidity area, this will dry. Like by the time I get to the end of this block, the first ones that I did will be ready for their second coat. And two, that's because you can see I'm doing this real thin. I'm not putting a thick coat on first. So, and I actually need to save a couple of these because I need to do glaze some for the video. So I'm going to put some of those aside. You will be able to see like the final product. So tomorrow, the video that I'm going to put out with this will just be how to make these particular beads. Like how did I paint the paper and how did I cut them and all that stuff. And then next week's video, or it might be 2 weeks before I get that video out, will be the jewelry tutorial. So a lot of times that's what I'll do is I'll do one video on how I made the beads, and then I'll take those beads and make some sort of project, whether it's jewelry or some other like home product. And then that'll be the next video. So yes, you'll be able to see all about it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can get notified. I think you have to subscribe, and I don't know, do they still have the little bell? Yeah, I agree with you guys, Robin and Scrambles. I think I would just have to be careful to do a real light sand and a buff on it and not get down to the paper itself. But that thing has a lot of coats of glaze on it, so it should be able to do that without too much trouble. But I like that idea of doing it as a tutorial and say, like, okay, let's refurbish this. How do we do it? Like how to keep your paper bead jewelry looking nice. Because I've been wearing that. Oh my gosh, has it been 2 years since I did that tutorial? Has it been that long? And I wear it a lot. Like it's my go-to when I'm wearing like a long sweater. And I want a long necklace that's, you know, gray or black. Because I wear a lot of gray or black. That is like my go-to necklace that I wear. So it's gotten quite a bit of wear on it. So I like that. I'm going to do a video like that. Thanks, Robin. Look at that. Yes, I do think they look like planets for sure. I don't think they will once they're done, though, with the, once they're incorporated into the jewelry piece. I don't think they'll look like planets. Or maybe they will. And it can be like a space thing. That's all right. I wouldn't be opposed. I'm all about Mandalorian. I don't know about you guys, but so the diamond glaze is not waterproof, but it's water resistant. And so what that means is it will definitely hold up to hand washing or sweat. You can submerge these beads. Hold on, let me take a drink. You can submerge these beads a little bit and they will be fine. But a couple of hours of submersion, no, that's going to be a problem. But you could wipe them down with a cloth. You could, you know, sweat on them or get them in the water when you wash your hands. And that is not going to ruin them at all. Which is crazy because they're paper. You would think, you know, that can be a problem. All right, yep. And these first ones are completely done, so I can go ahead and do my second coat. You guys still want to hang out for a while? We still got quite a few people on. I mean, I can hang out here as long as you guys want. As long as you're willing to hang with me. Oh, I think I forgot to close my glaze and now it's all clogged up on the end. Bad Kelly. There we go. I know how to do it. There we go. Yeah, and don't put too much glaze on at once because it dries. You can see that glaze was starting to get dry. It was getting clear. And that can be a problem. All right, so I'm going to move these up a little so I can rotate again. Also, another tip, you can rub if you're going to use wooden toothpicks to glaze on, you can rub them against a candle and that'll cover them with a little coat of wax, or just make sure that you pull off or turn your beads between coats so that you don't accidentally cement them to your stick. Because I've done that and it is not pretty. It's actually a little heartbreaking, especially when you have just enough beads to do the project that you're wanting to do, and then you ruin one. That's a problem. All right, you guys are going to hang with me? That's awesome. Good, good, good. Yes, I am going to use some findings with this. And I'll show you. I showed them earlier, but I still have them here. So let me show you. So these are brand new in my shop at paperbeadrollers.com. And I purposely got these. These are stainless steel. And I've been looking for these for a while now to carry in the shop because I have had this vision for this necklace in my head for a very long time. For months, I've been wanting to make this for myself. So yes, I'm going to come up with a design that, I don't want to ruin it, but I'm going to come up with a design that incorporates these little charms with them. Scrambles, you made a honeycomb candle? That is awesome. The shop is called, here, let me type it in. It's paperbeadrollers.com. You have to put the S on or you end up somewhere else. But it's paperbeadrollers with an S.com. Yep, and I carry, so I make the paper bead rollers that I was using to roll these beads. We hand make those here in North Carolina and sell those on Amazon and then on my store. And then I also look for findings because I always use findings with my paper beads. And so I look for unique findings. I call it unique and necessary. So some of it is, you know, basic stuff, spacers and stuff, ball beads and things like that that you just really need to use with your projects. And then I also look for really unique things. Like there's a dragonfly clasp. I have a knot clasp in there, a magnetic knot clasp that's new that I love. I can't wait to use that. Just released some leather, genuine leather, braided round leather, and it's mint green and light blue. And I am really looking forward to making projects with those too for the spring. So I don't know if you can tell because it's, you know, the camera's a little far away, but on the second coat, it's starting to fill in the ridges. So even though the ridges, when you're using this 65 cardstock, the ridges are significant, they start filling in really well once you get the glaze going. So I'll probably do, sometimes I stop with 2 coats. I think I'll probably do 3 coats on these. Another reason I'm going to do 3 coats is because they might be banging around against the sterling silver charms on this necklace. And so I want to make sure that they don't get scuffed up too much. So a 3rd coat is probably a really good idea on these, just to make sure that they are going to withstand a little bit of abuse. Oh, thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. I try to be really, really good with customer service. That was one thing when I started my store. You know, I feel like you always have to make a decision about how you're going to treat your customers. Like, are you going to be really good in customer service or not? Like, are you worried about people taking advantage of you? You know, what's your philosophy? And my philosophy is I want my customers to be happy. You know, I'm a small business and I appreciate good customer service. I'm not Amazon, you know, I can't give everybody free stuff if it's late or, you know, do 2-day shipping or anything like that. But I can at least make sure everybody's as happy as they can be. So I try. Scrambles! She's shopping. Love it. Thanks. There's also, did you guys see the discount bundles that I put together? So back to that theory of where I bundle my stuff so that you only have to buy just what you need. So I also thought about, well, that's great, but what if you want like some bead caps, right? Like I love putting bead caps on paper beads. Let's see, do I have anything sitting around with bead caps? Not really. I love putting the bead caps on paper beads. And so what if you just want to try a big assortment of bead caps though? Like, you know, what could you do? So I created some discount bundles on the shop that I just put up the other day where you buy a bunch of different items and you get a 10% discount automatically. And then you can choose, like, like there might be, I think there's 11, is there 11 bead caps in that bundle? And you have to buy one of each. But let's say you wanted to buy 2 packs of just one of the bead caps. You can adjust your cart to add 2 packs of just one of them, and you'll still get the 10% discount as long as you buy one of everything in the bundle. So we'll see how that goes. I thought that might be helpful to people who were looking to, you know, stock up and have a bunch of things to play with, but not necessarily, you know, have a ton of one thing. So we'll see how that goes, if people like it or not. Okay, I'm going to move these so I don't forget what I've put a code on and what I haven't. Give a little space. There we go. Yes, you get 10% off your first order if you click that little gift in the bottom corner of the website. Everybody gets 10% off their very first order. And some of you on this live got a Christmas card from me, by the way, I believe. If you spent $50 total with me, I think it was 50 that I used as the thing, you got a Christmas card with a special discount code in it that is good for January. So if you check your email, if you forgot that, because I sent an email reminder out the other day, if you need a reminder of that code. But if you got that Christmas card from me, you are a VIP customer because you have trusted me enough to spend money. It was before Thanksgiving that I ran the list. So if you spent money with me after November, you may not have gotten one. But yeah, I like to reward my loyal folks who love me. I like to reward you guys for sticking with me. Aisha, do you sell a paper beads kit? I do. There is a paper beads starter kit. And what it has in it is a bunch of different stuff. It's got 2 different bead rollers, and you can choose which bead rollers you want, which size handle you want. It's got a glue bottle in it. It's got paper strips in it. It's got a whole assortment of just findings, just like a sample of findings for you to play with. It's got some finished beads in it, so you can kind of see what they look like. I'm trying to think what else it has in it without pulling it up. Robin knows. Robin got one. Am I missing anything that's in that kit, Robin? Are you still here? I can't remember anything else. But yes, so it's called the Paper Beads Starter Kit. So if you look on the website for starter, if you just type in the search, type the word starter, it should come right up. And the bead rollers, like I said, we make them right here at my house. And I need to start putting this out there, but there is a warranty on these. Like if something happens to your bead roller, I had this happen the other day. Someone has only had theirs 2 months, and she was using it so hard, like she was pulling so tight that the pin fell out. So I just replaced it for her. So I'm going to start like really advertising that, you know, I guarantee my products. I mean, if it falls apart on you for some reason, even if it's just because you were using it so hard, I'm going to replace it for you. So, because again, customer service, right? You got to do right by people. So I'm going to start putting that in writing on the site, but yep, just so you guys know. Paper strips. That's right, Robin. Thank you. Paper strips were the other thing that comes in, just so you have a sample of some different types of paper strips. So you can kind of know what they look like. You get some sample paper strips in there. Now notice, by the way, that this diamond glaze is starting to build up here at the top of my brush, okay? It's starting to harden a little bit up there. So when that happens, you want to make sure that you rinse it out really good. You don't want to let that diamond glaze harden in your brush, or you will lose your brush. So I'm just cleaning it off in a cup of plain water. The other thing that you need to make sure you do is when you do rinse out your brush, dry it really, really well before you put it back on your paper bead, because I will tell you, I have made this mistake myself. I didn't get enough water out of my brush, and as soon as it, even though I dipped it in the glaze, as soon as it touched the paper bead, it soaked it and ruined it. So make sure that if you're using water and you rinse out your brush, that you get it really, really dry before you start glazing with it again. So again, you just saw me. I just squeezed it out really good. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry, but you definitely don't want any water in it at all. That could squeeze out onto your bead. Where did you learn how to do this? I taught myself. I learned mostly, I started out from YouTube, right? So back when I started learning paper beads, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe now, there were some YouTube videos, but there weren't as many as there are now. And most people use toothpicks to roll their beads, which you can start doing that. I mean, yes, I sell paper bead rollers, but if you're just starting out and you aren't sure that it's going to be something you're going to stick with, you know, it doesn't hurt to try rolling on a toothpick. It will hurt your hands, not going to lie. And your beads are not going to be nearly as uniform or polished looking as they are if you use a bead roller. But certainly, I don't recommend spending a huge amount of money on a craft until you've tried it and you know that you like it. But if you really are excited by this, the bead rollers are awesome. But yeah, so I actually saw a necklace in a store. It was like $80 and it was made out of paper. And I really wanted it, but I could not afford to buy an $80 necklace. I mean, it didn't matter what kind of necklace it was. I didn't have the money to spend $80 on it. And I thought, well, I wonder if I could do that, as all good crafters do. And so I started looking at YouTube, and I tried using bamboo skewers, and I tried using toothpicks, and I had all these things. And then my husband's like, I can make you a better roller than that. And so he did. He made me the paper bead rollers that have evolved into the paper bead rollers that I sell today. Yeah, so that's kind of my story. So I learned by a lot of trial and error. I learned by watching YouTube to get the basics. And now I just experiment. You know, I try to take existing like traditional beading tactics and I try to figure out how I'll use paper beads to create things, which can be difficult sometimes because paper beads are a lot larger than a lot of these. And yeah, so it's interesting. Definitely interesting. Give me 1 second. My son wants to tell me something. Sorry. Sorry, he needed a snack. We have not had dinner yet. I just realized it's 8:30 and I have not fed my child. Because I've been living. I have really good patience to do this for 2 hours. The live or the beading? This is relaxing to me. This is like an anxiety release for me doing paper beads, definitely. The living, I don't know. It's just fun. It's just fun to interact with you guys. I miss it. I used to live a lot more. I need to get back to it. It's hard sometimes when I'm teaching and doing a contract and everything else all at once. But okay, I think this is a 1 coat. That's one thing. It's easy to lose track of which beads have 1 coat and which beads have 2 coats. The exact same, both, right? Yep. I don't know if I might let these dry really good before I decide to do a 3rd coat. I think they need a 3rd coat though. To look really smooth like I'm wanting them to, I think they're going to need a 3rd coat. Unfortunately. I guess I better get that kid some food, huh? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do, these are the one-sided and these are the 2 coats, but the 2s are moving into the 1s. And so I'm having to make sure that I'm leaving a gap there. And I just let them get a little too close to each other. we go. Do I have clear wrap around my foam? I do. You know what's funny about that? You're the first person to ever ask about that, I think. So, you know, the foam comes from the store wrapped in cellophane, right? And I noticed early on when I was started using the foam that as I'm skewering it with my beads, that sometimes it gets messy, right? And little pieces of it flake off and it just gets everywhere. And so I decided to keep the cellophane on the block the way I got it from the store, to keep any little pieces that flake off as I'm working inside the package, and it works like a charm. So eventually, at some point, I'll take the cellophane off. Like once it gets too many holes in it, it starts to rip and come off and all that, and then I'll use the block without it. But I usually do now keep the cellophane on my blocks so that it just keeps the little pieces of foam from getting all over my workspace. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Again, that's that whole trial and error thing, right? Now that one, the hole was almost blocked up with diamond glaze. I got diamond glaze in the hole. And that's the thing too. So when I'm doing beads with larger holes, I will make sure the glaze gets in the hole to protect it from any water. But when I do these really tiny ones, if I try to put glaze in the hole, it will actually stop up the hole. So I usually don't glaze the inside when I'm doing these tiny little beads with the small holes. But otherwise I do. Keep forgetting to move them on the stick so they don't get glued in. All right, there we go. Let's give it a little break. I know, right? Okay, everything has 2 coats. Let's see. I mean, they're looking pretty good, but I just think a 3rd coat is going to really make them smooth. So I think we'll do a 3rd coat. So I'm going to rest for just a minute. My hands are starting to hurt. Woo! Mary, that is true. I have another piece of foam in the other room. I just didn't think to grab it. So you could move them from one block of foam to another. It would definitely work. Oh, thanks, guys. I think they look good too. I'm really going to like this one. This is going to make me happy. And on my glaze, here's another thing. My glaze is getting a little hard in here, so I'm going to wipe it out and put fresh glaze in. Look, you can see where it's gotten hard on the edges. So a little water would probably help with this. I'll grab some water from my cup. You can water this glaze down a little. I mean, you don't need to, but if it starts to get thick in your container, you can use water to wipe it up. I don't recommend mixing water with this because it will make the hardening agent less, and you want your beads to be hard. So some people, I've recently seen a thread in Paper Bead Fanatics where some folks were using triple thick and they were really struggling to get it smooth because the triple thick is a lot thicker than the diamond glaze. And they were having trouble making it smooth on the beads. And some folks said to use water with it, but that's the only thing. If you mix water with these glazes, your hardening agent is going to get watered down. So you like doing the small chats. It's awesome. And you have a gift for your boyfriend. You know what's really cool is if you take you could take photographs, or you take some piece of paper that is significant to you guys. Like, if it was a baby being born, it could be the newborn announcement, or it could be an engagement announcement in the paper or anything like that. Take that and cut it into strips and make a bracelet or a necklace out of it. And then you have something like really meaningful to give somebody. I think that would be cool. My mom, my great aunt turned 80 recently, and she took home a couple extra napkins from the party. And this was pre-COVID, I guess. And put it on a photocopier, made a photocopy of it because it's a really gorgeous napkin, and then used the paper to create a bracelet for my great aunt. And it came out so pretty. It was so gorgeous. So you really can do a lot of meaningful things with these, I would say. All right. Well, I think I'm going to have to end the live. I think I need to go get the kiddo some dinner. And I'm going to let these thoroughly dry before I put the final coat on. It takes a little longer to dry with each subsequent coat. I've found that it kind of works out better if you just let them sit for a little bit longer. So I think we're gonna let these sit and harden up before I do the last coat. So I will, like I said, I'm hoping to have this video on these beads out tomorrow. I usually post them around 7:30 or so on Sunday night, and then the video with the necklace either 1 or 2 weeks after that. It depends on how much time I have to do this. So yeah, you guys got a early glimpse of the next tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed chatting with you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to do this a lot more often. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I go on live. All right. Happy New Year to you too, Mary. Turn this vid into a cooking vid. Scribbles, you want to come down to the kitchen with me? I don't know what we're going to make. Bye, Brenda. Bye, Mary. I don't know when the next chat will be. Maybe next Saturday. How about that? We'll see. I'll do it as soon as I'm able. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yes, the link to the shop is www.paperbeadrollers.com. Yep, www.paperbeadrollers.com. Bunch of new products just released. Those discount bundles are out there now for 10% off. And if it's your first purchase, hit the little present in the bottom corner and you can get 10% off your first purchase with me. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Bye.